Alright, 7.5, we are looking for the x value or the angle that gives you the following value for the trig functions. With tangent, that's the one that's kind of hard to notice because it's not directly on the unit circle. So to find tangent, you have to take the y value divided by x. So I'm going to show you all the different values you will get for tangent, and maybe it'll help you identify what angle you're looking at. So the ordered pairs that you see on the unit circle are 1/2, it could be positive or negative, square root of 3 over 2, again can be positive or negative, and you have square root of 2 over 2. Alright, so these are the different x and y values. Tangent comes from, so tangent of any angle is going to be equal to the y value divided by the x value. So these will be all the different values. You can pretty much ignore the 2 because it's going to go away. So if y was square root of 3, and that would be 1, you have possible square root of 3 as an answer. It could be reversed, so you could get 1 over the square root of 3, but when you rationalize that, that will give you square root of 3 over 3, and that comes from y being 1/2, x being square root of 3. So you got this value, square root of 3. You got this value, which is the one we're going to be looking at, could be positive or negative, and then you can have square root of 2 over 2, which will just give you 1. If you have square root of 2 divided by square root of 2, that'll give you 1. So you can have these three values. That's it. You have square root of 3. Well, actually, we could, yeah, those three. These are the three that we get. And it could be positive or negative. So there's really 6 that you could contend with. I do believe that should be it. Yes. Okay. So when you see one of these values for tangent, we can go to the unit circle and kind of trace backwards. So the fact that this happens, that means a 1 was on top, square root of 3 was on bottom. So I'm looking for y1 square root of 3 to be x. It says negative. Okay, so I got to find the negative value. And it wants me to be between 0 and pi. That's my restriction. So when I go to my unit circle, tangent is negative over here, so between 0 and pi, I'm in this section. I want the y value. I guess it really doesn't matter, being that it's negative. There's only one. Y is 1. This is square root of 3 over 2. So that's this one. If it was this way, it would be square root of 3 negative. So this is the angle. 5 pi over 6 and 150. That would give me that. 5 pi over 6 and 150. So we want the first one in radians. 5 pi divided by 6. And it's kind of skipping down. Not really showing me. 5 pi over 6. Alright, and there's a part 2. I want to know that same thing in degrees, so that would be 150. And you do need to kind of read these. There's A, B, and C choices. A just says there's one solution in that interval. Sometimes there may be 2. So this one says there's multiple, and then C is there's no solution. So there was 1 for each of those.